welcome to the West Valley Performing Arts Center. This production of Sleepy Hollow runs for approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes with an intermission. There is use of theatrical haze, fog, and lighting throughout the show. Please keep the aisles clear during the show as the actors will be using the stairs for entrances and exits. In case of an emergency, please exit up the stairs and into the lobby. Do not go onto the stage. Take a moment now to dim or turn off all devices as they may distract from the show. Any recording of this show is strictly prohibited. We would like to thank our sponsors: Salt Lake County Zoo Arts and Parks, West Valley City, Utah Division of Arts and Museums, the George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Foundation, and the Lawrence and Janet D. Foundation. Now sit back and relax as West Valley Performing Arts Center proudly presents Sleepy Hollow.
Let me out of here this minute. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do will make me put my foot back in it.
Please don't leave Sleepy Hollow.
It's not all that it seems.
Just stay home. Your heart will follow and
I can see yourself playing my heart, all my different nightmares. Do you think that I misheard? Think that I am not? I am not, and my soul swears that you can keep Sleepy Hollow, all its spirits and ghouls. I am gone. You all should follow and leave these things of fools. I can take a foot. How did you do this? All the things that disappear, noises in the dark, not another day.
Mr. Underdog, wait!
You're a wonderful schoolmaster. The best we've had in years.
You only need some time to adjust.
Granted, we do experience more than our share of the supernatural around here.
You must be mad. All of you. It's no wonder every teacher flees this purgatory. Am I the only one who sees and hears the chaos around here?
Mr. Underdog, we know Sleepy Hollow is a trifle unorthodox, but you shouldn't let that upset you.
There is nothing malicious here.
Or unbearable.
We all lead relatively peaceful lives.
Peaceful? Oh, please. At first I thought that you were lovely people, but that image of you quickly turned. I saw something lurking from your church's steeple, and you didn't seem a bit concerned. In my classroom everything is hurly-burly. I've begun to think that I'm deranged. When I walk in every morning nice and early, all the desks and chairs are rearranged. Books go flying off with shadows in the corner, faces at the window every night. I hear wailing like some disembodied mourner, and I swear I saw a witch in flight. There's an omen in the air, a sense of evil tells me something sinister is nigh. If I do not seize my only chance to leave, I'll only have myself to blame and curse the name of Sleepy Hollow in that moment when I prematurely die.
You won't die! We haven't had a schoolmaster die in years!
I knew I was right!
You're the fourth one who's left in as many months.
I'm sure I won't be the last.
At least send us a
To
replacement.
this asylum, I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy.
Please don't leave Sleepy Hollow.
to race, tells me no we're enchanted and leading us to pray. For the man will stay, someone who remain planted, or things are thoughts and worse. Living in a curse, trying to disperse this curse.
Mina, what exactly happened to this?
Well, I suspect it was the poltergeists. They're always making trouble around the house. They probably broke it.
The poltergeists don't break things, they just move them about and make noises.
Well, something certainly attacked this little fella.
I told her she's getting too big and fat to ride the rickety old thing.
I was not riding it. And I am not fat. I was merely resting against it while reading my poetry book. Why would a girl of my age and breeding be riding on a hobby horse?
It's not the matter of why. The fact is you're rocking back and forth, singing at the top of your lungs when you're crashing to the floor. It's not my fault you're still a complete child.
I am not a child. Mother! I am not a child. Brom. Mother!
You know, Dirk, you really shouldn't torment your sister like that.
But why not? It's fun. And she was riding a horse.
I believe you. Ever since the messenger arrived last week telling us that a new schoolmaster was coming, the women of this town have been particularly peculiar. The older ones all want to find someone to marry.
And the younger ones get all moony-eyed and ridiculous.
At least you don't have to worry about your mother.
Oh, she's the worst of all. Always fussing with her hair and baking and agonizing what she's going to wear. I don't understand. Are all women the same?
You see, Dirk, it doesn't matter whether a woman is married or not. When a new man appears on the scene, she wants to make certain that she draws as much attention as possible, even if she already has a husband of her own.
Really?
Trust me, once you learn the secrets of understanding women, it'll make your life a whole lot simpler. Now, take this back to Mina. Try to get her to use a chair next time.
Right.
Mr. Von Braun, that was quite a little discourse.
Good afternoon,
The same to you.
and tell me, how's your father?
He's doing well.
That's good to hear, and I don't wish to bother. But if I might, I thought perhaps that I could trouble you for a bit of bliss. Perhaps a kiss. Tell me, miss.
Good sir, I told you we must be discreet anytime we meet passing on the street.
Now tell me, pray, is this the way to treat a fiancé, dear? You hesitate and make me wait. Is this my fate?
You mustn't fuss and pout until our secret's out. The better way is to stay unknown until the proper time for love to be shown. A lovely afternoon.
Good day.
How does your father feel? He's fine. Now say hello, children. Good afternoon. And hello, Brom. Now run along, children. I want a word with Katrina. A busy day, such preparations. We've all been cleaning up the school. The newest teacher is arriving. I hope that this one's not a fool.
I agree. The last thing we need around here is another foolish man.
Well, it's getting late. I'd better hurry home.
I know, we must go slowly. If people knew our little plan. So for a time, we'll keep it lowly. And steal a kiss whenever we can.
Katrina!
Hello, Sabine.
Please pardon, but I'm such a mess, dear. Tell me, do you like my dress? All morning frantic. I've hardly had a chance to think a thought. Running here, running there. It's October. Why is it so hot? I'm flustered and unsteady, so desperate to be ready. This moment that's ahead of me has left me with emotions bared. No wonder that I'm feeling scared, just knowing that the schoolmaster will be here, and I feel so unprepared.
Poor Sabine. So desperate for a husband.
Oh, and lucky you. You've got one waiting. Prom. Why, hello, boss. I see you're busy.
Katrina, dear, you're busy too.
Perhaps we'll stay. Go and mind your business. That's if we stay.
Is this our thanks for trusting you? Now, Katrina, your little secret is safe with us.
We're your best friends. We're only having a little sport.
We just want to make sure you don't end up like Diedrich and Sabine.
You don't have to remind us about that. We know all too well what happened to them.
Just be certain you don't say anything to anyone about our betrothal. Oh, don't worry. No one cares about the two of you. Everyone is too interested in the arrival of the new schoolmaster. Maybe he'll be younger this time.
You see, I'm the shy one in this family.
Oh, now, big brother.
Oh, now, big brother.
Now that's enough. You'll draw attention. And we would like to be alone.
We're sure you would, and so we'll mention. You'll want to keep your voices to a tender moan.
No, be off with you. Still don't understand why you thought it'd be a good idea to tell them.
Well, perhaps you could forgive me.
For a price.
Rob, is that you?
Yes, Onder?
Oh, there you are. I need your help. Today is filled with hassles. I've lost a goose. The pigs are loose. Come with me to Von Tassel's. It's getting late. Mend the gate before Von Tassel finds that I broke the fence. I feel so tense. Hurry, prompt, don't hesitate.
I must flee you, hope to see you later on after I am through. A lovely evening, Miss Von Tassel, to you. I'm on my way. Have a good day.
Katrina, where's Mother?
She went back to your house, Doreen. I think she had a lot to do.
Look, I picked these for the new schoolmaster.
Oh, Annika, how lovely. I'm sure he'll be very pleased.
Miss Katrina, do you think that this one is going to stay with us?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I would. Sooner or later, something happens that frightens them off. Now, Willem, you have to understand. People from the outside world aren't always prepared for how special Sleepy Hollow is.
You mean the spirits?
I mean the spirits. And the ghosts and the poltergeist and the horsemen. Yes, Willem, all of them.
Miss Katrina, don't other people have ghosts too?
Of course they do. It's just that we seem to have more than our fair share. But when you've lived with them for as long as we have, you find out that there's nothing to fear.
I'm not afraid of them.
Good girl. Your mother has taught you well.
I especially like my good night ghost. He helps me go to sleep.
Katrina, have you ever been across the bridge?
Yes, Doreen, many times. When I was about your age, we used to cross the bridge whenever we liked. But since things changed, none of us has been able
It's
to.
him!
What is it, Villa?
Right there, I can see him! Where?
Look over there, rising above the hill. That's gotta be our new teacher at last. Is he the one? Someone who finally will bring us the key to escaping our past. Let it be all that we've longed for, more than just someone who flees.
I saw him on the path to the Terrytown.
We know. I saw him first.
What does he look like? Is he tall?
Is he ugly?
It doesn't matter. Just be grateful he's here.
And whatever you do, don't say too much.
I don't know, Hans. I get the feeling that this one's going to be different.
What makes you think so?
Woman's intuition.
Arabella, this is no time for...
I think she's right. I think it's even more than woman's intuition. There, can you feel something is oddly altered, strange in the air, and it's coming on fast. This could be all that we've longed for, waiting years, dreaming of peace. One by one, others have faltered. Let him be the bringer of our
like to bake something for him.
As did I.
And I, a fresh loaf of bread, something that will feed his soul.
A blueberry pie, succulent and dark and sweet.
My tart made of plums, so sublime I'll swallow it all.
This man who will feed all our children's minds must eat, and that's why I brought him a very special treat. He'll be well fed. I brought him gingerbread.
Rosalie, what are you doing baking for the schoolmaster?
Well, I thought perhaps that this one would be interested in something fresh.
Please! He's almost here.
1 minute more, and he'll be here beside us. Quick, everyone, not a moment to spare. It would be all that we've longed for, not a word to scare him away. It would be someone to guide us, no mistakes we've got to make him stay.
Well, I must say that was quite a salutation. I am Ichabod Crane, your new schoolmaster. Are these for me?
Absolutely. I baked them myself, sweet and delicate.
And my blueberry pie is so succulent and delicious.
Or something hearty after your travels. You might enjoy this loaf of bread that
Do
I
I smell gingerbread?
Yes, but these are just for me.
Well, I absolutely adore gingerbread.
As do I. It's my favorite.
Mr. Crane, allow me to introduce myself. Hans von Ripper. I own the local stables. You'll be staying with my family for the first week.
And I'm his wife, Arabella. I'm certain you'll find us to be most hospitable.
I'm sure I shall.
And these are 2 of your new pupils, our children, Dirk and Mina.
Hello, headmaster.
Nina.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Crane. My name is Hosta Tenbrook, and these are my children, Doreen, Willem, and Annika. And we would like to welcome you to our village.
And where is Mr. Tenbrook?
Papa is dead, Mr. Crane.
My condolences, Mrs. Tenbrook.
And I'm Sabine Vedder, Mr. Crane.
Mrs. Vedder. What a lovely looking pie. Mr. Vedder must be a lucky man.
There is no Mr. Vedder. No children. No attachments. None.
I see.
You see, ever since my twin sister Sibylla rather...
Well,
unfortunately,
Mr. Crane, we better get you up to the house before you're so overburdened with baked goods that you can't function. I assume you have a big day planned for the children tomorrow.
Absolutely. We should begin studies right away, 9 o'clock sharp.
They'll be there bright and early.
Absolutely. And might I ask, do you happen to have a church choir?
Oh, well,
You see, I have a classically trained voice, and I do so enjoy sharing my talents with the congregation.
Actually, Mr. Crane, we used to have a choir, but it's been years since we've really sung together as a group.
What? No church choir? Well, that verges on an abomination. That will never do. I shall take it upon myself to serve as both choir master and a schoolmaster. I should like to begin tomorrow evening with your instruction. Let's say 7 o'clock, yes?
Of course.
I'll be there.
we all will.
Just the adults, please. The children will be at home with their studies. Mr. Von Ripper, you may lead the way.
My pleasure, Mr. Crane. Out of curiosity, how is it that you came to hear about our vacancy for a teacher?
It really is a most peculiar story. I ran into my arch rival from Yale University, Bastian Onderdonk, and he informed me about the position. Onderdonk has always been a rather presumptuous individual, very pretentious, full of himself, prone to delusions of grandeur. And when he spoke to me of the position, I found it most curious. In all our years together in Connecticut, he never had a kind word for me, and yet, when he saw me this time, he couldn't wait to recommend the situation. He said I'd be a perfect fit.
Yes. Well, let's hope Mr. Onderdonk was right.
daily arrival in my classroom, you will move directly to your assigned seat, produce your study materials, and await my instruction. Is that clear?
Yes, Mr. Crane.
Mr. Crane.
Beg your pardon? When responding in my classroom, you will speak with clarity, purpose, and above all, respect. Am I clearly understood?
Yes, Mr. Crane.
Good. Take your seats. Names, please. You.
Willem Tenbrook, sir.
Age.
13, sir.
Sit. You.
My name is Doreen Tenbrook, 15. Willem is my brother.
Did I ask you if he was your brother? Right. Sit. You.
Dirk Von Ripper, sir. 16. Please don't hit me, sir.
Silence! Sit. You.
Yes, sir?
Name.
Annika?
Annika what?
Tenbrook?
Age.
10?
Oh, Miss Tenbrook 10. That was a joke. Sit. And that brings us to you.
Mina Von Ripper, age 15. And I can't really say I care for the tone of your voice.
Did you hear that, class? Miss Von Ripper doesn't care for the tone of my voice. Well, Miss Von Ripper, if you don't care for the tone of my voice, try to imagine how little I care for the tone of yours. And then think about how many hours a day you're going to spend listening to mine, month after month after month after month. Do I make myself clear? Better. Now, children, I want the time you spend in the schoolroom to be as enjoyable as possible for all of us. Ergo, I would like to assist you in understanding my pedagogical approach. Never spare the rod, never spoil the child. Keep them nice and proper, tame the one that's wild. Rules of regulation will help us work as friends. But if you disobey me, the punishment descends. Pay attention to me always. Keep your comments to yourself. Any contraband I confiscate goes up upon this shelf. Never spare a licking, that's what keeps my classroom ticking. And I warn you, don't try tricking me, you can't beat it the bud. If you think that you're so clever that you'll dodge my blows forever, let me show you why I never spare the rod. Let's get to the basics. Learn to read and write. Mathematics ciphers are studied day and night. In history and geography, your minds will be immersed. But always in my classroom, discipline comes first. I won't hesitate to trample dissension or diversity. But if you follow my example, you'll turn out just like me. No complaints or crying, or you'll see my switch go flying, and someone may wind up lying underneath the sod. So to stay in my good graces, you should keep tight in your places, so I never smite your faces with a rod. The burden of molding your behavior requires that I bridle all my hate. In order to be your loving savior, I have to take command and use the upper hand to spare you from a dreadful fate. Too late, for I can see deception in your scheming eyes, and this comes as no surprise. Those and their teachers always are at war. Breaking hostile cultures is what they're is for. We shall marshal our resources till the victory is won.
rally all our forces, the battle has begun. Never spare a wing, but keep our mind. Class our ticket, I warn you. Don't try thinking we'll be dignified. If you think that you're so clever to dodge my blows, forever let me show you why I'm ready to run. I swear by heaven I shall conquer you and never spare the rod. Now, children, please take out your history text and begin reading on page 116. It's all about Joan of Arc. An enlightening tale of what can happen to youngsters who get big ideas. What was that?
What, Mr. Crane?
That noise.
The books, they moved.
Who did that?
The poltergeist.
Rubbish. Enough! Which one of you is doing this? Well?
With all due respect, Headmaster Crane, we were all sitting here reading. We couldn't have reached up there. Willem is right. It was probably the poltergeists.
Poltergeist, eh? Impish spirits here in this classroom.
Oh yes, they're all over Sleepy Hollow. And ghosts and pukas and pixies.
Or maybe it was the Headless Horseman.
Looking for a new head.
There's even a song about it.
And the secret of the curse.
Curse?
Yes, there's a curse on Sleepy Hollow till someone solves this riddle.
Win or lose, you must choose which one wins and which one fails. For success, can you guess? It's a matter of heads or tails.
Stop it! Do not bring such blasphemous and evil speech into this schoolroom. The great and holy Cotton Mather warns against the evils of witchcraft here in New England. Quick, children, run for your very souls!
But this kind of thing happens.
Out! School is cancelled for
just
today.
got started.
Did you hear me? Run! Run!
School's canceled.
Come on, I shall stay behind and attempt to exorcise this gateway to perdition. Begone, demons! You are no match for my virtue. Nothing shall stay me from my holy purposes.
And when the books came off of the shelves, he began screaming like a lunatic, and he forced us out of the school.
Mercy!
Nina came home in such a state that she went straight to bed, and I had to bring all of her meals to her for the rest of the day. Dirk is watching her now.
Willem couldn't stop laughing about it, and
Nonetheless, you children have to try to make Mr. Crane at ease in the classroom. It's very important that he feels welcome and appreciated.
yes, Mother.
Just as I was passing the school, he comes shrieking out the door, arms flailing. I thought the building was on fire.
Oh, I wish I'd been there to see it.
It was hysterical. Then he starts weeping and pleading with Cotton Mather to deliver him from evil. No, no, no! It was the biggest raccoon I've ever seen. Good evening, Mr. Crane.
Good evening, Mr.
Brinkerhoff. Foss Brinkerhoff. You remember my sister, Rosalie?
Yes, with the gingerbread.
Mr. Crane.
Well, I must say that I am quite pleased with the turnout this evening, although I had hoped for a few more voices in the lower registers.
Oh, there should be others on their way.
I should hope so. Now, which one of you is pastor here?
Oh, well, You see, Mr. Crane, our pastor met with an untimely end a while back, so we've actually been without a clergyman for some time.
Oh, I'm so dreadfully sorry. How long ago did this happen?
10 years.
10 years? You've been without spiritual leadership for 10 years.
You've managed.
Oh, this is unheard of. What do you do on Sundays? Run three-legged races all day?
Well, actually, we gather here in this church to offer thanks and read from the Holy Book.
That is neither acceptable nor tolerable. I can see that I'm going to have my hands full bringing all of you into the 19th century. This village is a hotbed of corruption, and there is nothing that will keep the devil at bay more assuredly than good Christian voices raised in heavenly song.
I couldn't agree more.
Thus, we should begin by singing a composition of my own creation, which will fortify our spirits and tune our hearts to God. Do we have an organist?
Oh, Doreen will be playing for you.
One so young. I hope you can handle the complexities of the accompaniment.
I shall do my best.
See that you do. Now, let's awaken those vocal instruments. Everyone ready? Repeat after me. La 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 la. What was that?
What was what, Mr. Crane?
One of you didn't cut off with the others.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll all do much better next time.
See that you do. Now, higher. La 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 la. Well, there it is again. Who's doing that?
Doing what, Mr. Crane?
Someone is singing beyond my cutoff. That will not do. Again. La 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 la. That. Right there, I distinctly heard a man singing who isn't part of the choir.
Oh, it's just this old church. Sometimes our voices just ring and ring. We sound like 100 people.
It wasn't hundreds. It was the voice of just one man.
I think it's just a matter of acoustics, Mr. Crane. You do know about acoustics, don't you?
Of course, Miss Vedder, the science of sound. However, if this chapel truly were reverberant, then I should have heard all of your voices.
Are we late?
You most certainly are.
Ah, you must be the new schoolmaster. I'm Brom Bones. My real name's Abraham, but everyone calls me Brom. And this is Honor to Groot. Sorry we're late.
As am I, so if you'll take your places over there, we can finally get started. Now, do your best, sight read your parts, and watch me.
As the harvest time approaches and the bounties gathered in, we must share our gifts with all mankind and our loving kith and kin.
That was rather good. Let's move on to the second verse, and I'll help out with a little personal coaching.
We are all so very grateful for the blessings we receive, and to give those gifts in turn again is a truth that we believe. Let us look to serve our neighbor with a pure, unselfish soul, and to help him take from all we have is a wondrous, worthy goal. No joy can be so great, no love like heaven's love, no grace that ever shines from heaven above. Good feelings behind our hearts and beating stars like that, which God's beneficence imparts.
Wonderful. You're really starting to feel the music, yes? Now, bring those words to life. I want you to give me everything you've got.
In the season of abundance, when we reap the fruit of sin, we are mindful of our fellow man as he seeks to fill his needs. Let us raise our thankful voices in a happy harvest song as we
I'll have you heathens singing like angels in no time.
Heathens?
Well, Mr. Von Ripper, I think it's only fair to say that I have my work cut out for me here, especially since no one felt the need to replace your former pastor. And now, let's call it a night. Take your music and practice, practice, practice. Idle hands are the devil's playground, and idle voices.
I can assure you, Mr. Crane, that I will be working on your music every minute of every day and night.
Delightful. Excuse me, but I don't believe we've had the mutual pleasure of an introduction.
With all due respect, Mr. Crane, I do hope you'll be sensitive to Miss Feder. Her sister's demise took a great toll on her.
Not to mention what happened to Diedrich.
Well, now you're not being fair. You know my name, but I don't have any idea of yours.
Oh, I'm Katrina von Tassel.
Well, Miss von Tassel, I must tell you that you have an exceptional voice.
Why, thank you. I'm sorry my father couldn't join us. He really is a marvelous singer. He hasn't been feeling well.
Well, I was wondering if perhaps you might allow me to escort you home this evening.
Thank you, but that won't be necessary. I'm with some friends.
Well, with a voice like yours, I was thinking that some private instruction.
Excuse me, Miss Von Tassel. Is everything all right?
Of course, Mr. Von Braun. Mr. Crane here was just offering to walk me home.
Oh, was he?
Yes, but I told him that won't be necessary. Perhaps another time. Good evening, Mr. Crane. Mr. Von Braun.
You know, I think she rather fancies me.
Fancies you? Fancies you? Listen, Mr. Crane, I know for a fact that Katrina doesn't care for fancy fellows like yourself. I can guarantee you she prefers a solid, hard-working, muscular man like me who has some meat on his bones.
Well, perhaps the time has come where she'd prefer to try a bit of pheasant rather than a steady diet of mutton.
Mutton!
Or should I say mutton head?
Look, Crane, I know for a fact that Katrina doesn't care for fancy fellows like yourself. I know that she'd rather prefer a solid, hard-working, muscular man like me. I know, Katrina, she'd never be interested in a scrawny, pasty, self-righteous twit like you. This contest is over even before it's begun.
Don't think for a minute that you're going to out-strategize me, sir. I think it only fair to warn you that I am a master of the game of chess.
Oh, I think she'll take this chest over chess any day.
And then he tried to teach us that awful song of his from choir practice.
And he walked around the room and began a silly book about cotton at the windows and doors.
Now, children, we must be patient with Mr. Crane. No more tattling.
But, Mother!
No one likes a busybody.
Yes, Mother.
Whosta, there you are. Have you heard the latest stories from the children?
I most certainly have, and I was just telling them how important it is for all of us to hold our tongues. A misplaced rumor could prove to be most unfortunate for all of us.
That's probably true.
Precisely.
After all, no one wants to be accused of spreading rumors.
I agree.
And children are sometimes prone to exaggeration. No! Mrs. Von Ripper, what we told Mother was exactly... Yes, Mother. Of course, now that we've had the chance to become acquainted with his many fine qualities, I think it's appropriate to celebrate his arrival, don't you?
Well, I really did enjoy the nails. No, we really shouldn't.
Shouldn't what? Discuss the virtues of one of our own citizens? I'm sure the schoolmaster would be the first one who'd be glad to hear his praises being sung.
No question of that.
I'm not one to gossip or want someone maligned, but can you tell me, Whosta, what is on your mind? If you were objective and were speaking plain, Mr. Crane.
He's a monster.
He's a fool.
He's the dunce in charge of our school.
He's pretentious.
He's licentious.
And my sister makes him cruel.
He's engaging.
He's complex.
And he wants to wring our necks.
He's artistic and sadistic, like an evil witch's hex.
He's a coward.
He's absurd, like a large bewildered bird. He's a genius.
He's a fake. We should dump him in the lake.
He's deceitful.
He's refined. He's an old who loves his mind.
He's the whirlwind unconfined.
And above all, he's so kind.
He's obnoxious.
He's a bore.
With a voice that's hard to ignore.
He's abusive. He's abusive.
And I slam his head in a door.
He's a scoundrel. He's a mongrel.
He's a most impressive breed.
And the fact is, this conundrum may be just the man we need.
He's the middle of a riddle with an answer we must know. This enigma, there's a stigma. Is he really friend or foe?
There. You see, just a little friendly discourse. No harm done.
He really is a toad.
Thank you for the shoes, Boss. They turned out beautifully.
Anything for the future, Mrs. Von Braun.
Shush! There are little ears everywhere. Saunter, will you be returning to the farm soon?
Well, just as soon as I deliver these bags of feed to Mr. Von Rippers.
I'll come with you.
Excuse me, have you seen Miss Von Tassel? I thought I saw her here a moment
Oh,
ago.
you just missed
Oh,
her.
she saw you coming and ran the other direction.
I don't think that was the case at all. In fact, I was hoping that you could deliver this letter to her in my behalf.
Oh, I don't think that's a very good idea. Her father doesn't like her consorting with strangers, especially ones who bring a whole new meaning to the word strange.
Perhaps I could impose upon you to...
Oh, gosh. I really don't appreciate being imposed upon. Besides, I'm far too good of a friend to Brahm to support the subversive activities of anyone who fancies himself a rival for Katrina's affections.
Fancies? Did you say fancies? Has he been talking to you about me behind my back? Well, that only proves that he considers me a genuine threat, and I couldn't be more pleased. Psst, Annika,
Mr. Crane?
could you do me a big, big favor?
I suppose so.
You know Miss Katrina, don't you?
Of course, everyone does.
Well, I was hoping that you could see that she receives this letter from me. I would be most appreciative.
I suppose so. Mama says we have to be nice to you. So you'll stay.
With a good little girl. Now run along.
Good day, Annika.
Hello, Mr. Brown. Oh, Mr. Brown, could you deliver this letter to Miss Katrina? It's from Mr. Crane.
Is it now?
Yes, he just handed it to me himself.
Well, Annika, I can guarantee this letter will end up right where it belongs.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye. It's a matter of heads or tails.
My dearest Miss Von Tassel, it is with the deepest delight that I sit with quill and ink to prepare this epistle to you. Ever since our encounter at the church last evening, I must confess that I have found myself smitten with your charm, your beauty, and your angelic voice. I would consider it the greatest privilege to be permitted to call upon you at your earliest convenience to express myself more adequately regarding my intentions toward you. I trust that you will find me a most promising suitor and assure you that my intentions are most honorable. Until such time, I hold my ardor in abeyance. Affectionately yours, Ichabod Crane.
sir, please let me pass.
Not for a moment, you snake in the grass, slithering in, slimy and slick, scouting your victims and taking your pick, stealing the spoils, seizing the day.
Just step aside and I'll be on my way.
Look, Mr. Crane, let me make one thing perfectly clear. So you think you won Katrina? That would be a waste of time. Her affections have been claimed by me, so you'd face an uphill climb.
So you think you own Katrina? Your pretensions are obscene. As a woman, she should have her choice to still her voice. It's me.
Stay away from Katrina.
Sir, I find you just pathetic.
No, the right word is athletic.
You'll be rubble when I'm through.
I could beat you black and blue.
We should let her choose a suitor to win her heart so pure and true. You don't deserve a woman of culture and taste. She would go to waste.
Her life with you would be dry and stale. My love is passionate and constant, while yours is thin and pale.
Sir,
Loves me.
when compared to me, the battle lines are drawn, the game's on, and very soon you'll see the best man is me. You there, bumpkin.
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Is this the Von Tassel estate? Is Miss Von Tassel at home?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her father.
What, is he inside?
I don't know why he wouldn't be.
Do you know anything?
I know Brahm's gonna beat the tar out of you if he finds out you've been sniffing around Katrina.
Is everyone around here as backward and boorish as you are?
You'll have to ask them yourself. Yes, may I help you? Ah, you must be Mr. Crane, the new schoolmaster. What a pleasure to meet you, sir. Ever since we lost Diedrich Knickerbocker as schoolmaster, we've been hoping to find someone suitable to replace him.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Von Tassel. I was wondering if your lovely daughter might be at home.
She should be home presently.
Excellent. I was a bit curious, Mr. Von Tassel. Which of these different farmlands around here belong to you?
As a matter of fact, Mr. Crane, everything you see from this porch is mine.
Everything?
Yes. The good Lord has blessed me beyond my deserving. Acres of buckwheat, oats, and corn, with some beautiful orchards further off in that direction. That's my barn over there where I keep my livestock.
Livestock?
Certainly. Cows, pigs, ducklings, turkeys, geese.
Delicious.
And beyond that, stretch meadows of wildflowers as far as the eye can see. It's lovely to have their beautiful fragrances filling the halls of my mansion.
Mansion?
Well, that may be a bit presumptuous. After all, it only has 11 rooms. That's more than enough to house the treasures I've gathered throughout the world. Gold, silver, china, crystal, carpets, painting, chandeliers. Indeed, I'm a very fortunate man.
Indeed. Tell me, Mr. Von Tassel, is it true that at some point you'll be serving as my host during my stay?
Absolutely. It won't be long before you'll be sharing in the pleasures of my prosperity.
Oh, well, I can assure you that I wouldn't think of leaving Sleepy Hollow before I'd had the opportunity to enjoy your hospitality to its fullest.
Wonderful. And you won't have to wait long for a sampling.
Oh?
Every year on Halloween night, I host a party for the entire village. In fact, I would like to invite you to be our special guest of honor.
Sir, the honor would be all mine.
Oh, Mr. Crane.
Crane.
Katrina, you've come just in time. I've been telling Mr. Crane about his future lodgings.
What?
You remember? Each family in Sleepy Hollow hosts the schoolmaster.
Hosts the schoolmaster for a week at a time. Now I remember.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Von Tassel, but I'm trying to sort out the squash harvest, and I can never remember the difference between the butternuts and the amber cups. Not to worry, Zonder. I'll come help you.
But Father...
I won't be a minute, Mr. Crane. This will give you a chance to become better acquainted with my daughter.
And won't that be pleasant? Shall we sit?
I suppose we should.
You know, it would appear that fate seems to be taking a hand in bringing us together.
Mr. Crane, I should inform you that Mr.
Before you
Von
make
Ryder-
any further protestations, I think that I should inform you of a few things that have come to my attention. Evidently, everyone in this town seems to think that some sort of curse has been placed on all of you.
Mr. Crane, the curse in our town is all too real. 10 years ago, one of the women in our town began to experiment with witchcraft. Of course, we were all horrified and begged her to stop, but she would have none of it. In time, her actions became more extreme until one Halloween night, when she placed a curse on our town. She said that we would all be trapped here until we solved her riddle.
Ah, yes, the riddle. Go on.
We were told that none of us would ever leave Sleepy Hollow. There would be no new life and no new love, and she made the bridge disappear.
You mean the bridge that I crossed to come into your town?
Yes.
Funny. There seems to be a certain belief that if I were to stay here among you, that somehow my presence would break this so-called curse of yours. And I think we're both highly aware of the romantic spark that crackles between us, despite any past dalliances you may have had with that oaf, Mr. Von Braun.
Mr. Crane, I can assure you...
I'm not a man that takes kindly to not getting what I want, and my dear Miss Von Tassel, I want you.
How dare you, Father!
Don't be so hasty, my sweet little minx. Isn't it obvious that I am the man who is meant to bring new love to Sleepy Hollow? And don't you think it would be far better for your father and the people of this village to be released from this tragic curse that has befallen them? I would gladly live out the rest of my days right here if I was assured that it would be as your husband.
I think it would be best for you to go.
Of course, my love. I shall see you at your father's soiree on Halloween. Until then, careful, Miss Von Tassel. There is much here at stake.
Did I hear you calling me?
Oh, I was just going to let you know that Mr. Crane was leaving.
Well, I'm sorry I missed him. He seemed like quite the enterprising fellow.
Indeed.
I have a feeling he's going to bring some great changes to Sleepy Hollow. Who knows? He might even be the answer to all of our prayers. Good night, my angel. I'm off to my slumbers.
What an odd situation. And what should my decision be? How to take his declaration that he'd remain to be with me? What would it mean for others if I should give my heart to him? All the fathers and the mothers whose children's dreams have all grown dim, to think of watching as they cross the bridge to a place they've only known as make-believe, to make a choice that leaves a heritage where they get to dream a dream they can achieve. I never could do it, for Rome is my love. I couldn't go through it, dear heaven above. Tell me, how can I know which road to follow? Beyond the hollow is a world I see, and Brom, if I should leave you, and we must be apart, I'll go beyond the hollow and take a
To imagine how much I appreciate this token of your generosity, Mr. Von Ripper. The journey on foot out to the Von Tassel estate and back yesterday came nigh onto killing me.
Well, nothing's too good for our new schoolmaster. We'll have you fixed up in no time.
Thank you. I should let you know that I have no small reputation for my equestrian skills.
Is that so?
Yes. There's something about being perched high on some proud beast that gives a man a sense of regality that... What in heaven's name is that?
This is Gunpowder, one of the finest steeds that you'll ever meet.
Please tell me this is some sort of ill-conceived jest.
Well, on the contrary, both Gunpowder's parents were exceptional horses. I bred them myself.
I didn't mean literally ill-conceived. Mr. Von Ripper, I don't wish to appear ungrateful, but this horse is not a suitable means for my personal transport.
Now, Mr. Crane, I can assure you that the name Gunpowder is well earned. Why, back in the day, he could outgallop any champion in the land. He's that rare combination of smart and spirited, with the endurance of a
snowflake,
more like a glacier.
Look, I am sorry, but this is entirely unacceptable. Haven't you got something more appropriate?
I'm afraid not. All the remaining horses in my stable are personal property of the other citizens. Mr. Von Brom, Mr. Von Tassel.
Mr. Von Ripper! Just because my name doesn't start with Mr. Von does not mean that I take kindly to your provincial elitism. If you want me to stay here, as I suspect you genuinely do, I suggest you begin to respect my wants and wishes. Do I make myself clear?
Of course. Tell you what, why don't you give old Gunpowder here a fair shake? I'm sure you'll be surprised by how much gumption he still has left. We'll look for you at the Halloween festivities.
Oh, I'll be there, despite your best efforts. I can hear deception in every word you say, as this town's reception gets colder day by day. Though I've tried to reach you, you treat me with neglect. It seems I've yet to teach you the meaning of respect. I'll be killing you with kindness till you're underneath my spell. I'll turn Sleepy Hollow's blindness into their private hell. I'll control this situation, start with Brom's elimination, then I'll rise up to a station worthy of my skill, and with all my senses keener I shall win the fair Katrina and become a crane who's even meaner still. With heaven's blessing I shall conquer you and never spare the rod.
to remind you all that tonight is a very special night. Not only do we need to keep all of our traditions alive, but we must guarantee that Mr. Crane has an exceptional time. He may very well hold all of our futures in his hands.
Just so long as he doesn't hold you in his hands.
He's coming.
Mr. Crane, there you are. We've been waiting for you.
Well, I would have been here precisely on time if I hadn't wasted the evening trying to get that wretched bag of fleas to put a little effort into getting me here sooner. You were absolutely right, Mr. Von Ripper. He does move at the rate of a glacier.
Well, the important thing is that you're here now, and just in time for the dancing.
Dancing? What? I didn't know there would be dancing.
There is always dancing on Halloween night in Sleepy Hollow.
It's a tradition.
And we're very big on our traditions around here.
And as host, I would normally be leading off the dance with Katrina. But this year I'm a bit incapacitated, so I'll be leaving that privilege up to our guest of honor, Mr. Crane.
Thank you, Miss Von Tassel. Would you care for some refreshments?
That would be lovely. Brom, could you get me something to drink?
Right away.
And Mr. Ichabod, I'm also a bit...
Hungry.
Perhaps something sweet.
Nothing could possibly be as sweet as you, beloved.
Look, Mr. Crane, I've given you fair warning. If you try to force yourself onto her, I'll snap you in half like the brittle little twig you are.
Look, considering the cursed nature of your town, I believe that my health, well-being, and above all happiness are crucial to the future of everyone in Sleepy Hollow, including you. So you would be well advised to mind your P's and Q's.
Something to wet your whistle, Mr. Crane?
No, thank you, Miss Vedder. I prefer my whistle dry.
All right, everyone. I'm sure we're all having a wonderful time. Thanks to our good friend, Balthus. But it is now time for the annual telling of the Halloween tales.
Is this another one of your traditions?
This is much more than just a tradition, Mr. Crane.
It most certainly is. And as our guest of honor, I think you should have the best seat in the house.
I think I'd be rather more comfortable over.
Upon a misty autumn morn, a scarecrow standing in the corn began to twitch and stir like some demented clown. And with a howl and with a lurch, he then descended from his perch and went cavorting with a cackle through the town. He spooked my horses in their stall, tore bricks and shutters from my walls, and scampered off to plague my neighbors. And to further misbehave, I grabbed my musket and my boots and galloped off in hot pursuit. And when I caught him, he was dancing on a grave.
Upon a cold and starry night, a group of friends goblins beheld the sight, as one amongst them turned and pointed to the sky. She screamed with terror and with dread, her eyes rolled back into her head, and then she thrashed and wailed as if about to die. She ripped her clothes and ate her hair, and spouted curses in the air, and spoke in tongues and rhymes and riddles like an oracle possessed. And then before their very eyes they watched as she began to rise and drift away as if by ghostly hands caressed.
Upon an evening like its pitch, a family comfortable and rich was sitting down to dine upon their nightly feast.
Their table soon began to shake, which caused the goblins all to break, and from the hearth they heard the howling of a beast.
And in a raging blast of heat, the place shot forth and seized their feet.
The fire went swirling through the room like hungry goblins made a flame,
The windows and the door,
and rolled the family to the floor.
but then extinguished just as quickly as it came.
Upon a wild October day, a wicked wind came out to play and blew the shingles from the church's steeple tower. Torrential rain cascaded down as if to cause the church to ground and be destroyed by some unholy spirit's power. The ceiling started to collapse and flooded the chapel and the apse. It seemed like demons were attacking with a tempest of despair. The local parson climbed the spire and prayed to God to stay his ire. But as the man ascended higher, the heavens blazed with lightning fire, and with a crack, he disappeared into the air.
Upon a haunted Hallows Eve, a pair of lovers tried to weave a plot to leave their homes and run off to be wed. The jealous sister of the bride set out to stop their nuptial ride, and soon they spied her standing in the road ahead. She did not move as they drew near. The horse recoiled in dread and fear, and from her mouth there came a dark, unearthly wail. The sister raised a voice of woe and summoned forces from below, and soon the air was swirling thick with specters pale. The couple turned and fled with haste, and through the woods were swiftly chased by spirits conjured by the witch, who sent them forth to seal their doom. And with the flash of light and sound they fell unconscious to the ground. And when the bride awoke, she saw the headless groom. Upon a scarecrow lover and the witch began to plot
A scream
and howl.
into the sky,
Torrential rain,
A blast of fire,
and ghostly hands that took her higher,
unholy cackle standing,
about to die.
he spooked
and ripped and raged,
the blood.
And spoke in
Her
tongues
husband's blood scampered off,
like hungry goblins,
swirling thick and pray to God.
and with a
Crack! I must get red!
family
Without his head,
and drift away.
mention the name of
Ichabod. So as you leave this cozy place, if you should happen on the face of any
demon
goblin
sister.
as you cross the village green, these tales of terror and of fright, each haunting sound and chilling sight, befell our town upon the night of Halloween.
Miss Von Tassel, may I have a word with you? Alone.
I suppose so.
I don't know whether you had a hand or not in this, but I am not oblivious to the fact that all of this was being done for my benefit.
Oh, no, Mr. Crane. Those tales are told every year.
I do not appreciate being made a figure of fun. These people are obviously very disturbed, and the sooner you give me a position of advantage in this town, the better off it's going to be for everyone.
Please, you don't understand how important these stories are.
I am not interested in these cockamamie fabrications or where they came from. If the people of this village insist on wallowing in their idiotic superstitions, you would be well advised to submit to me before you lose all sense of reason and become a total jackass like one of them.
Are you quite finished?
No. I am sorry to intrude on your hospitality, Mr. von Tassel, but I feel it my duty to speak with perfect candor and frankness. You people are pathetic, deluding yourselves with childish superstitions and mumbo-jumbo. Wake up! It's no wonder that your children are walking catastrophes with thick-skulled parents like you.
How dare you?
Sir, I thought that you of all people would know the difference between what is real and what is
Do not tell me about what is real! These are not ghost stories, Mr. Crane. They're the history of our town.
Don't be preposterous. Floating girls and fiery demons.
Ichabod, please don't.
Witches and windstorms.
Crane?
And a scarecrow dancing on a grave.
That was my wife's grave! Every one of those stories is a story of our loss, our pain, our families.
No.
Our parents perished in that fire.
And it was my sister who saw spirits and disappeared.
My husband was the preacher struck down by lightning in an attempt to save our church.
And it was my sister Sibylla who took off my fiancé's head and placed the curse on all of us. Oh, Deirdre.
I think you'd better leave, sir.
What about the riddle? Don't you need me?
We know all too well about the riddle, Mr.
We
Crane.
spent the last 10 years trying to decipher it, and no one has come close.
You think it's so simple? Go ahead, take a guess. Heads or tails?
You see, not so simple.
We've tried cutting off all the horses' tails. Nothing.
We flipped coins until we were bleary-eyed and our fingers bled. Nothing.
The children even tried making the horseman a new head by carving a pumpkin and leaving it for him in the woods. Still nothing.
And it's the reason we tell the tales of anguish each Halloween, hoping that by repeating those tales it will somehow appease the conditions of the curse.
But nothing has worked. And Mr. Crane, as much as we pray for deliverance from the weightiness and sorrow of this burden, we would rather continue to live by its punishments than to suffer the pain of having to live with your arrogance and evil.
Katrina.
I'm sorry, Ichabod. Please go.
Honey, something tells me that somehow you brought this all on yourselves.
You've said enough, we've called your bluff. It's time that you were running. Just turn and go, for now we know the baseness of your cunning.
Your morals think what makes you think there's any point in staying. Don't ask us why it's time to fly to wipe this face without delaying.
For we can see with clarity your heart is cold and hateful. We shall not grieve, and once you leave, we'll be so very grateful.
No time to waste, a bit of haste employed as your departing could save your life and end our strife, and thus we think you should be starting.
Your proposal was brave and quick. Now your disposal is all I seek.
Don't hesitate, it's growing late. You know the bridge is waiting. We'll stay behind and will not mind the end of your be waiting.
And through your going you taught us all the path we know is true. It would be worse to have a curse among us like you.
I despise you all! Sir! It cannot possibly compare to the revulsion and contempt we feel for you! Get out of my house! Done, sir!
I'm now resigned to leave behind this town and all its horror. I'll say goodbye and quickly fly to Sodom and Gomorrah. The gift I give is let them live in squalor and confusion, and if they want, they'll have their fun to propagate this sad delusion. For how can have them and all their pain? For for they'll not have me to smite again. I'll fly from here to make it clear they've lost their final chances. I can't abide their words of stagnant calculating glances. I'll soon be free and then they'll see the fact I've always known. I'm Ichabod and like a god I'm better alone. Afraid, my proud steed. No. Nothing can harm us out here. As long as we keep our wits about us and our fear in check. We'll reach the bridge in no time. Bizarre little charade is revealed for what it is, a sham. A canard foisted upon the people of Sleepy Hollow in order to secure your position with Katrina and her father.
What?
Oh, I grossly underestimated you. You're 10 times the strategist I thought you'd be.
No, you don't understand.
So the horseman wants a head, does he?
No, I was only trying to drive you out of here once and for all.
Well then, if it's superstition and fear that the people of this village want, I think they'll be absolutely giddy with delight when they find your headless corpse tomorrow morning.
No!
15-minute intermission. Concessions are available in the downstairs lobby.